because I don't have my mic in, so it's going to play out my speakers out loud, but it's also going to play on through there, and I didn't want to do that to you guys. So, anyways, a lot of explaining, too much explaining. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get
joining
better.
us today in the hook is one of my favorite social.
Orochoki, ¿qué es? Yo sé. What am I? ¿Qué haciendo? ¿Qué haciendo? I don't know, yo no sé, yo no sé. Okay, 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 okay. Let me muévete esto y pongas yo allá, sí, y mueve. Sí, más pequeño y pongo aquí. Ta-da! Yay! No harm, no foul. All right, so let's see. 7 seconds. No, let's go back all the way.
All right, and joining us today in the hook is one of my favorite social media follows. He's the president of the Fast Food Secrets Club, and you've seen his content literally all over your timelines. But as long as he's little known fact, also a former Division One baseball player.
Nice to meet y'all. Nice to meet you.
As a fellow former or trying to not be big back anymore, I appreciate your content more than most people.
Thank you very much.
Helping everybody, y'all, huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing any favors at this point. No, God bless.
I live in those comments, bro. When you recommend some shit, I'm like, yo, where's the shit I drop a
No,
pin?
you had a comment one time that went so crazy in that video. I was like, this is hilarious. You be killing me. It's so funny.
Fluffy side chicken, you know what I'm saying? Who's out there?
So before we get into the talk about the content and the
Let's do
eats
it,
and the collaborations and all that type of
Yes,
stuff,
sir.
your history as a D1 baseball player, you know what I mean?
Papi, Division One, that's a big deal right there.
Papi.
Yeah, look at here. Let me see your hand.
Oh, my hands, they got real soft
look
now.
At Papi,
They
you
got
can throw
real
a breaking
soft now.
ball. You can hit it, pop. You know. You fuerte, Papi.
You want to know what's crazy too is when I played with a kid. His name was Eric De La Rosa. Big shout out to Eric, Dominican. And I was like, and mind you, like he was like
A
probably
Dominican baseball player?
right? Never heard of it.
That's
But
unheard of in these times.
he was like probably 6'5", 6'6", tall,
Yeah.
but skinny. And I was like, this is our guy. Like when I got into the team, I was like, this is the guy. Dude, he took one batting practice. I mean, you could literally point in a direction. He could hit that ball like 400 feet anyway. I'm like, this is insane. Like it was really cool. But yes, I did play D1 baseball. That was a whole journey. I started playing when I was 16, and I was awful at it. It was a whole situation where like we came up super just not on the financial side of things. My parents gave me a choice. They said, we can either give you a baseball pants or baseball glove, but we can't get you both. And they told me, my dad sat me down before the first ever practice. He said, look, this is an investment. We're investing in you. This is not you just do it. If you don't like it, get out kind of thing. Like you really need to take this seriously. And that's kind of when I had my first practice. I did awful. But like after that day, I'm like, I want to be a professional. I want to take this to the highest level possible.
What position did you play?
Outfielder. But when they wanted to draft me, they wanted me as a first baseman. Which
Uh-huh.
Shout out to the first baseman, baby.
Was it the bat or the glove, or is Jordan a 5-tool player?
Jesus, Jordan
That was
thought
a
he was
couple
a 5'2".
tools.
Boy, I had half of a tool. I was very strong. So I was a hitter. It was my bat that really did it for me. And funny enough, the team that was interested in drafting me was the Mets. So I thought I was going to come down here, which was cool. But no, man, it was hitting for sure. I had fast hands, and with baseball, obviously, like the hardest thing to kind of learn is to get the again hands right straight to the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you grow up, as you get higher in levels, like when you get to Division 1, I think the first batter I faced was, I want to say it was Percy, I think Percy or Connor, but they top out at 98 miles an hour, and I was like, okay, cool. So that's the first thing I ever saw getting in there.
Okay.
But you notice, like when you're on that
Percy O'Connor from last name, first name.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Cole Percival,
Okay.
who was the son of why am I forgetting my coach's first name, man? Troy Percival.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, the one that where Barry Bonds absolutely destroyed his pitch. I don't like talking about that. So sorry, coach. I should go. His son, who was a pitcher, and then Connor Cannon, who was again like a giant.
That is a
dude,
pitching ass name.
dude.
Connor Cannon.
Connor Cannon.
You gotta have some gas.
Dude, he topped it like 98, and he led our whole entire team in home runs. Like he was the guy. He was the guy. But that was the first time ever seeing that kind of speed before. But like as you get up, you'll realize like a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, that's a watermelon. You want those. That is like if you need to be able to hit that as far and as hard as possible if it gets served up to you. Or like when they say like you want to know how to hit a changeup is don't miss a fastball. You know what I'm saying? Like you need your thought process has to get quicker if you try to get up into these levels. And so that's kind of what I learned. And again, I wanted it so badly. Like I said, when I did the TED Talk, I was sleeping out of my car. I was trying to make it work in any possible way I could, and it was hard, man. It was a journey.
I was about to ask you how you transitioned from baseball to the type of content you create, but just talking to you just right now, I'm kind of already seeing it because baseball, your mind needs to work very fast.
Yeah.
And anybody who watches your videos, things happen very quickly, and it goes from one thing to another very, very fast. So was that sort of like how you learned that, hey, I could probably do this as you know, I guess for fun at first, and then something that turned into a career?
Funny enough, man, and I'm certain, again, like not only from athletics, but just in general, like you guys can understand this, but like in order to try to do, again, like impossible goals require impossible tasks, right? So like me trying to be a professional athlete from never playing until I was at latent age, like you just take things to the extreme. I mean, like it's like I was 180 pounds when I got to college. By the time I was starting to get good, I went from 180 to 235 pounds in less than a year. And it was such a drastic shift, they thought I was taking steroids because it was just a big thing. But again, that discipline was, I'm eating 3 times a day. It was brown chicken, rice, broccoli, 2 gallons of water, lifting 3 times a day. 1 is anabolic, 1 is stretching, 1's fast twitch muscles, sleeping 12 hours a day. And I cut if it wasn't about baseball, I wasn't with it. And so when you do that for that long, what happens is you literally you don't realize you kick out everything else in your brain that is not servicing you for baseball. So by the time I got out of baseball and I realized I wasn't going to make it, I couldn't even answer basic questions like, what's your favorite thing to do? I couldn't answer it. If it didn't have to do with baseball or lifting, I couldn't, and it was scaring me. I was like, I don't know who I am as a person. I don't know how to be a person. Like, I'm talking to people, in my head, I'm like, I can't relate to people. It was scaring me. So the videos, there was no real intention of like, oh, I want to be a famous person. It wasn't that. It was like, I looked at this as like, everybody here is so talented. And I'm like, the only talent I have is being obsessed with the process. That's it. So I was like, let me try to see if I can find some kind of personality again. So that was a challenge to myself. And then when I started making the videos, they were just therapeutic. Like I loved making them to just talk about my day and start to and have people actually like me for who I am and not what I could possibly potentially bring to a team or to, to service them. It was just my personality. So it was very validating that in a way of like, I can just be a human being. And that's why I loved it that much. So as I continued, it just developed.
But you mentioned something. You said you didn't do it to be famous, right? Where a lot of times, a lot of people is doing shit to be famous. Right now, your mentality was something different, and you had a transition period to go from a super locked in athlete mentality to figuring out who the fuck am I as a person, you know what I mean? Like as a man, what do I want to be known for? What I want to do? How did you get into doing the videos? Like, what was your first video you did that made you like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with this. Like I'm gonna keep on. I'm going down this path right. I'm gonna fuck with this.
You charge my phone up.
Come on, I'm tripping with that phone. Well, I'll tell you what. So my brother was the one that made videos, and he didn't tell anybody about it. I think literally I had to find it like just like randomly, and we talked about it, and he told me about it. I was like, all right, whatever. So I would do it as just for fun or whatever. Like, but the thing that really got me being like, oh, I could do this, or I kind of like this is, I would be working the 9-to-5 jobs, and I would have like a bad like customer experience or a bad boss experience or whatever. Instead of just being like all upset about it, I was like, let me just tell people what went down. And so I would just tell people like, this is what happened at work today. And like people were like, I feel you. Like I go through that too. And it made me feel so like, oh, other people go through this. And I vibed with it so hard that I was like, I'm gonna keep this going. Mind you, I was at such my wit's end with these jobs. I'd have my work shirt on doing the videos. Like I'm like, fire me.
Are you
don't care.
in a position where you can you put the company on blast now?
Yeah, I worked Chipotle. I worked at Krispy Kreme. I worked at I worked construction for a while too. And that's the thing with Chipotle. I was a grill at Chipotle, and so a grill is a 2-person job. I was the only person at the job, so you're not really. It's all anxiety, and it was in the morning times. Which, if you're
a
gonna
lot of chicken and shit,
it's a lot of chicken. Also, quick tip: if you're gonna eat Chipotle, do it in the afternoon, not the morning.
Oh God,
please, in the afternoons. But
write that down.
I would have my shirt on in the bathroom, like this is what went down today, and then I go back in and start working more. Like it was just because I was like, why not? Like you know what I mean? That's kind of how it went. And then
Chipotle
the pizza
good as fuck though, bro.
But I was about to say, Melo got your history with
Chipotle has some up and down years recently. I still bang with Chipotle. I still love Chipotle.
Eat Chipotle after 12 o'clock, but look, big shout out Chipotle, man.
For Chipotle.
12 to 4. We rock with Chipotle.
Big shout out Chipotle, man. We love Chipotle on this side of here. We love it. We love it.
Oh man! But you know what? Like we spoke a little bit about it before we turned the cameras on. But like you're so adamant about your content being authentic and conversational, and like you have this thing when you're talking about it, and you say, you know, come here, and like that's when like whatever the subject is becomes like, all right, did that? How did you come up with that? Come up with that? Was that like some sort of like algorithm, sort of like, yo, at this time, say this because that's how we know that, or was this just something you just stuck, you did it and it stuck?
All by accident, man. I literally it was 2 in the morning, and I was watching a video about this gigantic squid, and I have major like fear of the ocean, so I'm watching it, and again, like for me, like I said, it's not written. I'm like, if I'm feeling it, I run into that bathroom to just experience it. So I'm like, oh, come here, get away from me. And I did that just naturally. I don't know why I even did it, and I was like, that's the Kraken. And then I stopped the video, I posted it, and I went to bed, and I woke up, and it just went crazy, and I was like, all right. And I would do another video, and they were like, why don't you say come here? And I was like, I just ignored. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then by 3-4 videos in, people were like saying it, like, why aren't you saying it? And I was like, all right, like if y'all vibe it, cool. So I would do it. But then at some point, because again, I don't write anything, like it helps me lock back into like, you got to finish the video at some point. So when I go come here, I'm like, oh, time to focus on this. So it helps me just as much as other people will probably enjoy it as well. So that's kind of how that started.
Yeah, as somebody who watches it, that's definitely the point where I'm like, oh, this is the point where I either keep swiping or I'm like, oh, I'm interested in
and
this.
the thing
like,
is, people, because I'll do come here, I'll be like, get away from me. People are like, why'd you do that? They were so very upset by that, but it was very funny.
The timing is perfect, and also it's just like something that, you know, like you said, like it feels like it now it's time to lock in. You know what I mean? Like we're doing this now. You know what I mean? Like no matter who it's with, it could be Method Man, it could be Des, whoever. Like.
Big shout out Method Man.
But how do they come up? How do you come up with those? Like, how do you come up with the collabs? Like
with the collab?
Yeah.
You want to know what's so funny? And
do you sit down and like, yo, you know what? I'm just gonna write out some shit. Or you say you don't write, but think some shit out. If I meet Meth, or if I meet Tom Cruise, or if I meet this person, like, I'll be ready for when I see them. Or you just see them and it's like.
It's quite literally a mixture of this. If I see them, I'm like, well, let's think of something. Or what happens is, comedy is obviously a big thing in my family. And there's times where I'll think of a joke and I'm like, oh, that's so funny. But only Method Man could say this. I don't know him, but he can say this. I don't even want to say it. I want him to say it. And so I have a list of people where I'm like, there's certain things I would love for them to deliver. And if I can ever meet them and work with them, this is the idea. I kind of want to center around that idea. And that's kind of how it even went down. Like even for Method Man, I could hear Method Man telling us that we don't look alike. And I'm like, this is so like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it goes. So I have a small list of people that I legitimately I'm like, oh, yes, like if we work together, I got an idea. There's the ones that slip in where it's like, I don't got no idea, but I'll think of something right